potentially losing what could be a great relationship, right? You know what I'm saying? And I actually have a lot of belief in you.
Thank you.
Don't thank me yet. Because I like the way you approached me originally, and I like your writing. That's an important thing. You actually like someone's writing and stuff. And I like how transparent you were with me and how you were very much in touch with me before and then the wait for the article to come out. And then we stayed in touch post the article.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm completely ready and I'm completely yours.
Thank you. I don't really have a crazy amount of prep work done for this interview because I know you quite well and
you ask me anything you want.
But I think what I really want to do with this piece is I hope the concept of the whole project was sound. Like, we're trying to interview, I think a lot of mainstream publications don't feel very disconnected to what's like actually happening. Like,
I agree with you.
Like
Go on.
Prestige, Tatler, I feel like there's just such a disconnect between like them.
An absolute massive disconnect.
Yeah.
I think their features are stuck in the 1990s.
Yeah.
Had some credence in the early 2000s, just because it was something that people were into for so long. And it's interesting that you say this because from the dawn of social media, it immediately made everything they put out extinct. Because nobody cared anymore about other people's lives.
Yeah.
Because everybody could broadcast their own lives. And everybody could see everyone's lives much faster, much quicker. And, basically at will, on demand and stuff. So why have they stuck to the same concept of garbage, basically, right? Featuring B or C list celebrities.
Yeah.
D or E list socialites. And the once in a blue moon megastar. Now let's start with the megastar, right? Their interviews are just not gritty.
Yeah.
Right? They're not gritty at all. It's all surface stuff. It's so much fluff.
Like, it's just
right?
their history.
So
Like, it's like a glorified resume.
Right? Yeah, it's a
almost,
glorified resume and stuff. And the photography. Now, no disrespect to the photographer, and I'm going to explain a couple of things to you, right? What I believe, right? And I'm a consumer, okay? You're recording everything?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
We're recording now.
And I'm a consumer. This is one of the great reasons that I live stream, because I did a massive interview with Agence France Presse, okay?
Hi.
And it was huge for me, please.
Oh,
And it was
thank you so
huge
much.
for me, okay, this interview, all right? And it went everywhere. You understand what wires are, right? You understand how Agence France Presse works. It went into over 40 countries, okay? And stuff, and I believe it was Agence France Presse. Yes, it was part 1, and his recorded in work. So he just thanked me so much for live streaming it, because then he could go back and watch the whole interview.
Yeah.
Right, and so yeah, it worked out great and stuff. So, anyways, going back to the photography of the A-list celebrity is beautiful. However, right, again, it's nothing we haven't already seen before, okay? And it's nothing that you can't see on the celebrities' media, because their media is so well kept, all right?
Yeah.
I actually think photography of regular people, such as myself, is far more interesting.
Yeah.
Because maybe, only a few people have been into my store, only a few people have read previous articles. When I say few, I mean, maybe a few 100,000 as opposed to tens of millions, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to tens of millions and stuff. So I also think that photography goes to waste, okay? Because most of the photography of this stuff is not even done in Hong Kong. Right, it's a shoot elsewhere because they're just not coming to Hong Kong. They haven't been during the pandemic. It'd be far more interesting if the photography was a bit more candid, and in and about Hong Kong, and stuff. Now, I did an article with, maybe you can help me. It's part of Prestige, I believe. What else does Prestige own?
I actually don't know what they own, but like I just know there's like
Lifestyle Asia. Lifestyle Asia. So Lifestyle Asia did an interesting article on me, video article, okay? There's a bit of text on the Instagram post and the Facebook post, but primarily it's all video. and they initially had me trying on all like funky weird outfits, like babe, okay, like really oversized, like mega oversized babe stuff, right? Like stuff that I would never ever wear.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just funny, you know, like a babe jacket with my shirt and trousers, etc., etc. They also talked about, you know, my signature video and had me do one on one of their journalists, you know, with going through the suit and then spanking the ass and stuff. And they also talked about me in my underwear, my merch, my Plenty of Consent underwear. And they also did a video on my tattoos. So I was in my underwear, I was in their shorts that they had gotten from a designer or something. And so I thought that photography was very interesting. I'm using me as an example. Okay, so it might come off as very, I don't know, selfish, proud, but I'm using me as an example because I think that if your audience is here in Hong Kong or Singapore and Bangkok, right? Your audience is Hong Kong, Singapore, Bangkok, then yeah, maybe not everybody, because they have a specific target market, and the specific target market should be me, but I'm not into fluff, and I don't really go out. The specific target market is not you, but I think we both know what the specific target market is, right? And you know, I think it's interesting viewing for this specific target market. However, if you're doing an interview with Tom Cruise, yes, as a publication, as a journalist, and as a photographer, and if you've got Tom Cruise or Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi or Taylor Swift, yes, it's a massive coup, right? But the problem is when they have celebrities, when they have stars, it's just not gritty enough, right?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I agree, it's just a PR thing.
And so forth. And, you know, I'm getting down and showing off my six-pack, and it doesn't cost them anything. But if you want Cristiano to strip down and show him your six-pack, it's going to cost you 10 million euros. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So I think there's a massive disconnect in what they do. I don't remember how we got into this topic, though.
I guess I'm just trying to explain the project a little bit more, like, but yeah, I'm just trying to bridge that disconnect. I know you said like people don't really care about other people's lives because they can broadcast their own. I'm trying to.
But you need good journalism, right?
Yeah,
you need good journalism.
Yeah.
You don't need fluff.
Yeah, you don't need fluff.
If you have great journalism, then people will care. Now, let's talk about great journalism. Every day virtually on the BBC, right, in their news show, they'll show something puff, you know what I mean? Whether it's a kid with leukemia or something to do with HIV or along those lines, right? Or like someone, you know, in a war-torn village in Lebanon or Gaza or Ukraine. I was like, listen, bro, me as an individual, I got my own fucking problems. Okay, so maybe I don't want to watch that because I've already read it in the morning, you know what I mean? I don't need to see it, and I already associate and I feel for them, right? But it is still great journalism.
Yeah.
And obviously, they're not stupid, okay? Because not everybody reads.
Yeah.
And not everybody is like me, who's into the real news, okay? The missiles and how many missiles dropped and how many people evacuated and what is Keir Starmer saying, okay?
Yeah.
Some people don't give a shit about that. You know what I mean? But a lot of people, they will probably give a shit about the human side. Now, I'm just not one of those people, right? You know what I mean? I care more about the larger geopolitical picture, right? But I'm in the minority, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that is great journalism, and that is insightful stuff, right? And if that's something you can bring to the table, then power to you. Okay. My advice to you would be to... Let me borrow your pen a second.
Yeah, sure.
My advice to you would be to make your target market small and write something for a very specific audience.
Yeah.
And see how successful you are with that, okay?
Yeah.
And then you broaden your audience slightly, okay? All right? And then see how successful you are with that. And whether you're successful or not, you will be able to interpret your metrics, and you will be able to slowly broaden your audience as you go along, okay? However, if you start shooting for the masses straight away, it's very difficult to, unless you have just brilliant journalism. I mean, brilliant journalism, right? And you've got a coup of interview, okay? Is that you won't be able to gauge what has worked for you and who it's worked for.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And one of the reasons when you floated this to me, and I said, okay, I'm going to do it with you, but I think you should start with me, is because I've already explained to you I'm fond of you, right? Now, with someone like myself, as opposed to I don't know who you had planned lined up first, you will just get more eyeballs automatically, right? Regardless, okay? And I can also help you promote the first article. Do you get what I'm saying? And subsequent articles, should you like my help and stuff. And because your journalism is great, and because you know that with me you'll get completely no holds barred. You could go in any direction. I don't even know what you're going to ask me today. I don't care, right? It doesn't matter. And I have no qualms about you pushing me and so forth. I mean, I have a story to tell. Do I know what that story is? No, because I've got so much to tell. But if there's specific stuff that you want to know, then I'm happy to share with you.
Yeah. I really wanna. I sort of want this to be like almost a reintroduction piece.
Yeah,
almost,
that's fine.
Because, I mean, I remember like just looking through your Instagram, like prior to this interview, like you were mentioning like being released from Instagram purgatory recently.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. So, look, I know you having researched me before, approaching me from our original interview, which was last year.
Yeah, a year ago now, yeah.
We all know that what we're doing is parody.
Yeah.
Like Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Okay? Like Saturday Night Live. On meta platforms, okay, you have so much pornography, so much disgusting stuff.
Yeah.
We don't know how it filters. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? On meta platforms, let's use a specific example. Tom Segura and his vehicle, right? The language is foul. The content they discuss is sexual and drug related. And I have no qualms about this because, you know, I thought this is social media. It's supposed to be unfiltered.
Yeah.
Okay? And the same thing with Joe Rogan. And well before Joe Rogan, well before social media, who was that guy on radio, Sirius FM, when Sirius first came out? Tall guy, long hair.
Can't say I know.
His name escapes me and stuff, right? So I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know if, you know, people reported me and stuff on purpose, and I don't know if a human actually looked at my content or it was a bot and interpreting our words as reality as opposed to parody.
Yeah.
Right. But I was put into purgatory for a little while, and it was not the first time this was done to me. However, after the first time, I took a break from being edgy and then went back to it. And then when the second time it happened, I took a break from being edgy completely. But it still happened to me. It's even without the edginess, I went into purgatory again.
Yeah.
And dealing with meta is no fun, and it's very, very costly. And they are king, basically, right? And you are at their mercy and so forth, right? And if you look at Google, it's very different. You know what I mean? I've never had an issue with YouTube and stuff. Never had an issue with LinkedIn. I've never had an issue with Douyin, Little Red Book, and so forth. So I cannot tell you the reason at all.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All I can tell you is that when it comes to meta platforms, I just have to be a little bit more careful with my content, and I don't have to be with the other platforms. So all my original content is still everywhere else. So it's unfortunate because I think it's unfortunate because everyone in my videos is role playing, right? And we are purposely highlighting boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay, we are highlighting boundaries.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually,
we
that's
are
actually very
highlighting boundaries on purpose. Okay, we are screaming, here is the boundary. Okay, and if we cannot legally cross it, it doesn't matter how much consent I have from the individual and his family, including his parents, I will not cross it. Yeah. And if I can legally cross it, and I'm being consented to cross it, being asked to cross it, begged to cross it, then I'll cross it.
Yeah.
In the name of entertainment.
In the name of
entertainment.
And it serves the purpose of drawing a red line.
Well, the whole point of my content is to alert people to the silliness that is around now. You know what I mean? With the woke movement and just nonsensical stuff. Now, this is not to discount Congress's fears about children being exploited on the internet I have 3 children myself. Okay, so it's got nothing to do with that, and it shouldn't be related to that, right? But we're just having fun, like they do for, I don't know, 3 decades or 4 decades on Saturday Night Live, like they do on Jay Leno's show, on David Letterman's show, on who's the guy now? Who's the main man now? What's his name again? Really handsome guy. There's 2 main men now in these show categories. But you know who I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, tongue in cheek, and which is how British comedy has been for decades, right? So I don't know what feathers I ruffled. I can't extrapolate on that in any ways. I also don't even know if it was anything specific, if it was my content itself, whether it was complaints. I have no clue. Okay. So there's not much I can talk about on that topic. What I can talk about is I'm here. I'm strong. I have a large followership. Even I don't know, following, not followership. I have large following, and I have plenty of different content. I have plenty of different content. So my content is so varied, and there has never been a consistent period of time where my content was just in the same genre. You know what I mean? It's a constant mix, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think that was a great answer. I think yeah, thanks for that. I think I was actually also really interested as well on what is next for you, almost, because is your account still on TikTok? Still on TikTok? Okay.
I have a secondary account. Hopefully my primary will come back.
Okay.
I think never worry about me.
Yeah.
But finish your question first.
I think I'm just wondering, like, maybe you already answered this already, but like, sort of what's next in terms of content? Like, eventually the bit might get old.
But I think the bit is already old.
Yeah.
I think the bit is already old. Okay. If I would be honest with you, I have Young Chinese Boy or whatever side by side signature content dating back to August, which still hasn't published. Okay. And virtually every day I will get a DM or more. Just got one last night or this morning from people who have purchased suits from me and said, "Bro, when is my video coming out?" Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
And interestingly enough, we're in September now, right? In August, when I came back from the United States, 2 different guys that I worked with, 2 young Asian men, were back, having come look to my store last August, having purchased a suit from me last August, having shot a video with me, but the video was never published. And they're like, "You never published a video." I said, "I'm so fucking sorry. I have so much content. Okay, with your new suit, as soon as it's done, we're going to shoot a video, and I'm going to put you to the front of the queue." And I did it for both of them. Okay, now where am I going? I have never ever mapped out anything. Okay, in my career. Okay. I'm a father of 3 children. If there was a set of rules on fatherhood, on parenthood, there'd be only one book in the bookshop, as opposed to tens and tens of thousands of books that are currently distributed on parenthood globally, and hundreds of thousands of pieces of literature that have been published historically. Okay, because there is no real answer. Okay, parenthood is just daily navigation. All right, and that's it. And my life and my career has just been daily navigation. I never think about, I want to open a shop in New York, or I want to open a pop-up in Milan, or maybe I should do a roadshow in Monaco or Dubai and stuff, right? Because I'm always busy here, right? And if you notice, I think one of my greatest achievements, which I was lauded for in many an article, it was the Agence France press piece that I talked about, a piece by the South China Morning Post about a year ago, was that we locked ourselves in China for 37 months or thereabouts. And I had no business because there was nobody flying in, and there was no weddings, no balls, no graduation, no cocktails, no receptions, no parties, and no gatherings. Okay, and work from home globally. And I'm in the suit making business. So everything that you need a suit for is being just wiped out. All right, nobody's been getting a suit to go work out in or couldn't go work out. There's no gyms, right? You know, making a suit to go to the park because that's all you could go to. You can't even go to restaurants. Okay, so I think one of my greatest achievements in recent times is that suddenly I started live streaming, and I, in no ways, compensated for the amount of revenue that I lost due to the lockdown. Okay, during the pandemic, but it was revelational.
Yeah.
I was making suits for somebody, for at least one person, if not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, every single day by video. And we did that for a few years, okay, while we were locked in here and stuff. So I didn't have a master plan saying that in case of upcoming global pandemic, if it ever arises, that we will lock into this. This is a contingency, okay? There was no mitigation whatsoever. This was just born out of my wild imagination, like everything else is, which is how it panned out. And it's the same thing with the videos that you were alluding to initially, right? It's like, you know, I don't know what it was born out of, right? And it's not like I've ever asked someone, can I do this video, right? I'm always begged to do the video, right? But there's nothing in my career ever that I have ever mapped out, all right? I've never ever mapped something out. I've never written a plan. I've never written a to-do page, a to-do sheet, a notes page and stuff. Just, you know, I do what I got to do. And I go on instinct, I go on feeling, I go on how much rest I've had, I go on humor, I go on what's the current political situation, right? Like, I am very traditional in my core, okay? I don't know if having earrings, having tattoos, having funky hair means I'm liberal, but I don't think I'm liberal in my value set, okay?
Yeah.
But am I a centrist? No. I think I definitely veer more towards the right. And I'll use big topics to explain. Okay. Do I believe in abortion? 100%. Okay. I'm pro-choice. Do I believe in birth control? 100%. I'm pro-choice. Okay. But do I believe in tribalism? Yes, 100%. It's really important to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck are pronouns. I still don't understand this thing. Okay. And stuff, and I have no qualms whatsoever, and people are at pains to make this clear in any sort of forum that they're talking in, that they have no problem with someone who's different with them, okay? But they just don't want a tent that's large. People like classification, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? And I will give you a very distinct example. You can go to, you're from which country? Philippines. You're Filipino, okay? And I'm from India. I mean, I'm born and raised in Hong Kong. So India and Philippines can play a World Cup qualifying match, okay? Or an Asian Cup match, okay? And half the stadium will be cheering for the Philippines. And half the stadium will be cheering for India, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. But in day-to-day life, tribalism is wrong, which I don't understand, okay? My parents are separated, and they separated in 1988. I think the divorce was finalized maybe in 91, okay? My mom got remarried in 92, my dad got remarried in 94. All before you were born, okay? And my mom's husband is an American, and he's about 10 years younger than her. And he's a brilliant guy, and a brilliant stepfather to my two sisters, okay? And both my sisters are younger than me. The older of the two married a half black, half white man. His mother is English and his father is Malawian. And she lives in Malawi. And her three children are distinctively African looking, as opposed to looking Caucasian or looking Indian, okay? They're not dark black. And they don't have thick fro, okay? But if you look at them and you ask someone, choose, are they white, are they black, or are they Indian? Everyone will say, if I have to choose, I choose black and stuff. And then the younger of the two married a white as white wasp, okay? And has two sons that are white, okay? Their hair is not even black. Their hair is blonde, okay? And none of this bothers me, okay? When I see my sister's three children, oh my God, the love, right, and stuff. And I actually haven't met my younger sister's two kids. But you know, family is family, and other people's choices are other people's choices. Okay, but my choice from long ago, and I don't think, but I also don't know. Okay, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a shrink. Okay, I don't know if any of my choices were shaped by my parents' divorce. Okay, I think my choice was shaped by Bollywood. Okay, where I love my culture.
Yeah.
I love Indian movies. I love Indian songs. I love Indian weddings. I love Indian parties. Before growing up, 99.9% of Indian movies were love stories. Okay, and now in 2024, 50% of Indian movies are love stories, and it's always about the guy going after the girl.
Yeah.
It's always about the guy going after the girl, which I think is, for some reason, Western culture denounces. Okay. But Asian culture has no qualms about the guy going after the girl, and the women in Asian culture have no qualms about the guy going after the girl. And Asia is 60% of the planet, okay, and that's the truth. So and I'm an Asian, right? So whether that's hereditary, whether that's genetic, whether that's cultural, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to be a guy, okay, and nothing other than a guy,
Yeah.
okay, and I always wanted to be an Indian guy, not just a guy, okay. And if we break that down even more, I always want to be a Sindhi guy, not just an Indian guy, okay? And stuff. And I always wanted to marry, I wanted to chase, and I wanted to marry an Indian girl. And not just an Indian girl, but a Sindhi girl, because I'm Sindhi as well. But that doesn't mean that I haven't dated or hooked up with a complete spectrum of women. It would be foolish of me not to, okay? There's many an incident where my dad has seen me engaging with a woman, and this is, either in my late teens or early 20s and stuff, and so worried. You know what I mean? I was like, Papa, chill, I'm going to marry a Sindhi girl, okay? Have me some fun, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm not isolated in that way, right? I'm not isolated in that way. There is many, without a doubt, there are far more people like me than there are people who believe in just homogeny, okay? And we have no qualms about people who believe in homogeny, right? But people who believe in homogeny have qualms about people who believe in tribalism, who are attracted to tribalism, which is something I cannot understand, and which is something they cannot explain. Because the only thing they will say is that, no, you're wrong, you're racist, you're sexist, you're bigot, you're this, you're that, you haven't evolved, blah, 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 humans are humans. Yeah, fuck, humans are humans. We're not saying humans are fucking dogs. We're not saying if you're this color, you're a fucking dog. You know what I mean? I mean, it's stupidity, which is my problem with the left, okay? Which is my problem with supposed liberalism. And I find myself a very liberal person and stuff, and that's why I associate myself much more on the right, and have, a value set that's measured by someone being much more on the right. Excuse me. Can you put the AC on out there? I'm dying here. Put all of them on and blast them, because I'm too hot and this one's not working. So that's sort of just me. And when it comes to my content, right, it has always been varied. There is no way anybody can say, okay, it is impossible for anyone to say that my content is a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Okay? So before I'm an early adopter, all right? So as soon as Facebook came out in 2007, when it was made available publicly in 2007, all right?
Yeah.
I was on Facebook. And as soon as Facebook allowed photos, after posting all the photos of parties that I went to night after night after night, and when I started to calm down, I had children, I was posting photos of clients. And the same thing happened when Instagram got launched. And then I actually switched from BlackBerry to iPhone after a year, because I couldn't get photos onto Insta and stuff, and I wanted to be on Instagram. And then I started posting photos of clients. I wasn't really posting, Facebook was more the thing socially. And Insta, I was just posting photos of clients and stuff. And the video came out, and I've always said that I was born for video. And short form video came out, and the great part about short form video is it's quick and dirty, and it's unscripted, and that's me. And my content long before the side-by-side, long before the Young Chinese Boy, was descriptive content with my own humor. It's exactly the same video 5, 6, 7 years before, I actually don't know the exact timeline, but years before the first ass slapping video. Years before the first ass slapping video. And 4 years, I was doing descriptive videos with humor. Okay, they initially started as descriptive videos with charm, started to become humorous, started to become, I don't know if derogatory is the right word, but humorous, tongue-in-cheek
Yeah.
stuff. And then, it became ass-slapping. But in tandem with all of that, you still had so much video of my children, so much video of my workouts, so much videos of me going out to party, so much videos of me with celebrities, so much videos of me doing government work, community work, social
Charity
work.
work. I saw the
Right?
recent one.
So much videos of my vacations, okay? It's always been so varied.
Yeah.
It's always been so mixed. And the only constant in the videos is that it's me. And it's my humor. Excuse me 1 second, okay? I'm feeling very hot. This AC is off. This one. I just put it on. Anybody who's ever accused me of being a one-trick pony, right, is already talking out of their ass and lying. It is not that they were misinformed. They're talking nonsense. Okay?
Okay.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And I have content out longer than anyone who's come to the party. Okay? My content started to exist. I am one of the original content creators before it was called content, and before a creator was called a creator. Before content creator, and content went mainstream, I was a content creator.
Yeah.
Okay? And I have more content than relevant content. My content is not, hey, look at me, you like my new hair? Done. Hey, look at me, I got this cat from Vuori. Done. Hey, look at me, blah, blah, blah. That's not content. Okay?
Yeah.
My content is all original, humorous, unique, diverse, and there's over 10,000 original videos out there of me. 10,000 that I have put out. Okay? And that includes side-by-side slapping ass, celebrities, my workouts, my parties, my government work, my social work, my community work, my time with my children, my children's sports, my vacations, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Interviews with journalists,
Yeah.
whatever it is. It is so diverse, always has been. So much of it, you don't need to know me to do a deep dive on me and write an article.
Yeah,
about it,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
I am so transparent, and I completely put myself out there. So, what direction I'm heading in, I have no plan, right? I just do what I got to do. Now, I'll tell you a great story.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, this is a great story. So, I'm working with a guy, all right? And this should give this microcosm should make you understand everything, because we can use this to apply it to my entire journey in life, my entire career. I'm working with a guy from London. He's staying at the Grand Hyatt. We really connect. And then he told me his son is 13, 16. I said, I bet your son knows me. He goes, why would my son know you? I said, let's take a photo. So I take a photo. I did a video with him. Whatever his son's name is. Hi, Jim, John, Jack. I'm with your dad. He sends a video to his son on WhatsApp. His son knew me, loved me. He's a teenager in London. Okay. He's come back with a phone. He's like, oh, fuck, my son knows you. He knows everything. I said, I told you. Okay. So the guy is in a business. And the guy says, let me use you. Let me leverage off you. Let me broadcast you photos of you so that my new business gets eyeballs. Okay? So it was a coup for me. I was able to broadcast myself all over the United Kingdom. Okay? For a very short, all over London for a very short period of time, which would have cost me millions, but cost me very little.
Yeah.
Because it helped him to launch his business by suddenly getting eyeballs. He's not going to get Tiger Woods on his screens. He's not going to get David Beckham. He's not maybe going to get L'Oreal or San Pellegrino immediately, right? But he wants suddenly people, put me, the quirky guy from Hong Kong, and then now you can use that. So he leverages off me and costs me very little, okay? And then I have an organization in Hong Kong that comes to me, and they think that, wow, this guy's a big deal. He must pay millions of dollars for this. They asked me for 2.3 million Hong Kong in sponsorship. I said, okay, for nothing, okay, to put my name this big somewhere here in Hong Kong. I just ignored them, okay. Then they asked me, give me.
Were you paid? Did you pay?
No, I didn't pay any, but $2.3 million. Then they asked me, after courting me and inviting me to something, they asked me for 50,000 Hong Kong to attend some function, and they'll put my logo at this function on the backdrop and everything. My quick brain, I don't know. Sometimes my brain is quick, sometimes not. My mouth is like diarrhea, right?
Yeah.
I said, "You have an MC for the function?" They're like, "Yeah." I said, "I'll make your MC. Make your MC the best suit ever." Okay, that's all I can offer you. They said, "We'll think about it." So I didn't waste time for them to think about it. Every other day I pursued. I said, "Let me, you've been good to me. Let me be good to you. I don't want anything. I don't want my name. I don't want my logo anywhere. Let me make your MC." They put me in touch with them. The MC was a celebrity. I ended up shooting content with a celebrity, tongue-in-cheek content. I ended up being invited to the event anyways.
Was that the one last night?
Yeah,
Okay.
the other night.
Yeah.
I ended up having a starring role in the event. Okay, so that's just my career. That's my life.
Yeah.
And I got all this unique content, so much of it, and stuff, and I still haven't published it all. And I don't box myself in.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting somewhere in this gaming chair with multiple screens. I don't edit anything. I just shoot something and I fucking post
Yeah.
it. And I say, I have no script. I grab somebody that will know me because I need my shot. Okay? Like, I can't have somebody, some people like to take the ceiling and the fucking floor and all this. What the fuck are you doing, bro? I shout at my staff all the time. They fuck the top of my head to just where my dick is. We don't need to see anything. We need to see me. You understand? What the fuck are you shooting? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. People are fucking idiots. And stuff. And, I edit nothing and, I'm done. And, I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth. But I don't care. I think that if you stay intelligent and if you stay up to date, you'll always have something to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you have an open mind when it comes to culture, and culture fascinates me, not in an anthropological way, okay? Not in an anthropological way, no, not at all. Culture fascinates me in terms of tribalism, okay?
Yeah.
I like the fact how Italians are so Italian and they love that they're Italians. I find it admirable, okay? There's so much positive stigma to Italy, even though the country is in a shithole, economically, okay?
Yeah.
Because if I tell you, try my coffee, it's Italian, you will think it's the best fucking coffee because it's Italian. If I tell you, sit on my sofa, it's Italian. Like, fuck,
Yeah.
I want to say it's like the Emperor's New Clothes. Because sofa could feel so fucking hard and shit, but because it's Italian, you know what I mean? This is the real deal, right? You know what I'm saying? And, if you look at France, and they fucked themselves up. They historically, every person born and growing up wanted to go to Paris. Always thought Paris. I have to go to Paris. Got to go to Paris, and I have to see the Eiffel Tower, etc., etc. Now who the fuck knows about Paris? Who cares? Who cares about Arc de Triomphe? Kids, they're like, fuck, I want to go to the Apple factory. I want to go to the Samsung factory. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's because they fucked their own culture up. Spending all these years fucking infighting, cutting the work week to 35 hours, creating super tax of 75% for millionaires and stuff. Fighting, don't want to work. They lost something that was free, that sold themselves. Okay? Everybody want to go to the United States. Okay, land of the free and the home of brave, not the land of fucking assholes and the terrorists and gun shooting and homogeny and equal rights and even if you're a bum, you have the same rights as a CEO and shit. Who the fuck will want to go to the States? You know what I mean? And it's almost like you're targeted, right? I think it's the most hostile environment ever because you cannot be you. Because if you're suddenly you, some motherfucker's going to call your ass out. You know what I mean? You're always towing the line. And how is it the land of the free and the home of brave? When you're always towing the line, you can't be who you want to be. You can only be who you want to be in the closet. So, and that's basically it. So if you're a staunch Republican in New York, shit, man, you can only talk politics in your own home. You'll be fucking shut down, right? Like everybody has this voice or something. There's no how to say, there's no manners, okay? That some guy's talking, okay, we don't need to talk. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're here in China, we're free. You know what I mean? Right? I mean, unless you're saying bad stuff out of our even if you're saying bad stuff about our president, nobody's gonna say anything. It's just a raving lunatic. Do you understand what I mean? Right? So I like tribalism. I like people's perception of themselves. Okay, and when you understand culture, you can talk about it very easily because there's so much funny stuff, you know what I mean, to do with it, right? And that's pretty much it, and so forth. And if it's an American, I can talk about woke, and if it's a Mormon, I can talk about multiple wives, and it's just fun, right? And so forth. But it's only fun if you are intelligent enough, and talented enough, and informed enough to bring it to life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay. I think a next question to jump off. I think so. Moving on to like the next section of the interview, I want to get like a better picture of who you are really, like through the things that you like and the things that you do. I mean, maybe something we can start with is like, what is a form of content that like you, I guess, wish came back or something, like just to piggyback off of the idea of content. Like, is there anything you think the internet needs to bring back?
Romance.
Romance.
I think there's just not enough romance. True romance.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like true unscripted romance, dates, restaurants, clubs where you're dancing with your partner. You know what I mean? Formal restaurants and stuff. Everything seems so scripted. Right? Everything seems so like fluffy and made up and whatever. I want to see something more intense. I want to see something more romantic. I want to be able to broadcast, you know what I mean, my romances. But the problem is that I can't find partners brave enough to be like that on screen with me and stuff. I would like to see more rawness. And so forth, and that's what I think is missing. I don't think there's enough love. I don't think there's enough true love of all ages and so forth.
I've heard like tangentially related. There's a saying that's going around now, like everything is about sex now, but nothing is sexy anymore.
It's everything about sex. I find it so trashy.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know if it's about sex. It's just disgusting. You know what I mean? Like anytime people are talking about sex, it's like disgusting. Why don't you have nice hot sex on the beach or something? I don't mind it being broadcasted and so forth, or discussion, but everything is like just so trashy, right? So how is it sexy? You're 100% right. If it's so fucking trashy, how can it possibly be sexy? You're 100% right.
Yeah. Any specific, I guess, romance movies or styles that like you think you're like a bit like you're sort of nostalgic towards, or like any memories that you have of, say, things that you did with your wife, like when you were still getting to know each other, that you think like...
There's a great English movie called Love Story.
Okay.
It starred Ryan O'Neal and what I believe was John McEnroe's daughter or something, I can't remember. And that I think is, one of the great one of the greatest Western romance stories ever. Okay, with the greatest being obviously Romeo and Juliet. Not because I found that romantic, just because that seemed to be the dawn for everything that came after and stuff. I just don't think there have been enough serious Western romance stories with heartbreak. Okay, whereas in India, every other film is a romance story, and some can be very, very silly, and some of them can really be meaningful. But I think my favorite film of all time, there are two films. One is called Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge, which I believe came out in 1988 or 1989.
Oh, could you spell that for me?
Dilwale, Dilwale, Dilwale Dulhania, Dulhani, Le, Jayenge is, I think, Jayange. Okay? And then there's another movie from the early 2000s to mid 2000s, which I think is sensational. It's called Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna. Kabhi is Kabi, Alvida Alveda, Na Na, Kehna maybe Kena, but now my spelling's gone into the toilet. Okay. I could list a few more, right? And the first movie, right, is about a guy and a girl who don't get on, who don't initially get on with each other, and they get caught traveling in Europe with their two sets of friends, okay, and then they suddenly get isolated. They both miss a train, and their journey is just incredible. Throughout trying to navigate through Europe back home and fighting with each other, when they're done and they're back in London, they realize that something is missing. And it takes a long time to get to that part, maybe an hour or so. And you think, an hour or so into the film, I mean, this film is brilliant. And then there's still another hour and so more to come of how he has to go to India and get this girl and insists that he won't take her unless her father gives him to her. The problem is she's engaged to be married, so he's got to take her from his wedding. Now, it sounds silly, but it's actually immense, okay? And the second movie that I mentioned, I can mention many more, is about two couples married who don't have relationships. I mean, the relationships are in the toilet for some reason or the other, okay? And the two antagonists, okay, end up falling for each other. And it's just quite a remarkable story, okay? And you're weighing up morality the whole time. But as much as they are the antagonists in the story, you obviously want them to be together because they're the stars, or at least I do.
Yeah.
And you can understand because the love resonates through so much. Now, there's a great story called Before Sunrise, which starred Ethan Hawke. And this was in the 1990s, and I watched it on a cafe flight. And that was one of the great Western romance films ever. And they didn't really do anything. There was no sex in it. They just walked around and fell for each other. And I think that's in a lot of short form content, medium form content, YouTube content, film content. Where's the romance? Because most of the legendary movies that live with you, okay, are romantic flicks. Now, look, we'll all go watch Mission Impossible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can all tell you the entire story of Mission Impossible 1.
Yeah.
But can you tell the story of Mission Impossible 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? No, not really, right? And stuff. But if you find a great love story, because it's so human, right? And it doesn't matter if you are heterosexual, homosexual, transsexual, asexual, or bisexual, okay? You can associate with love. And that's pretty much it. Now, when I'm watching the Ethan Hawke film, okay, I'm not a white as white Ethan Hawke, okay? All right?
Yeah.
And stuff. But I will still associate with Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I may be a heterosexual, it's a heterosexual film, right? But I think that if you had a love story about lesbians, it was a true love story, a love story about two gay men and stuff, I think the audience, who the audience is, which way they go, doesn't matter. So I think you've got a lot of deep stuff in short form content.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of deep stuff in media, okay? A lot of self-help shit, a lot of stuff about the news, a lot of stuff interesting in interviews and stuff. But there's no romance. And we know we have so many short stories. There's so many short story filmmakers. And a lot of them put out romance. Well, where are they putting it? Why is it that you only have to go to a festival? Why aren't they putting this on phones? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if it was on a fucking phone, if it was on YouTube, and it's a short film, I'd watch it. Right?
Okay.
Like, why are they saving it for festivals? I don't get it. Where are these filmmakers? And why are these filmmakers not putting their story onto social media? Right? Because if they're not making money off it anyways, right? At least put it out there for everyone to see. It's a free medium.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a fantastic answer. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Sorry, do you mind if I just use the bathroom real quick? Like,
Go for it. It's the last door here. It's the last door there. Right. You want another coffee?
I'm good for now.
You sure?
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys are enjoying this. I don't think I'm going to do Q&A afterwards. But one of the reasons I like these interviews and stuff is because you really truly get the raw version of me, right? And the fact that it's documented, right? It gives me so much more credence because, normal people, not freak shows, right? And the overwhelming majority of people are freak shows. Will know that everything I do is tongue-in-cheek, but then just pretend and spew that it's reality when it isn't, right? But I've done so many interviews, and they're all live streamed, they're all on YouTube and stuff, right? right, you get to know the real me. I don't do alterations. If we made the suit for you, then of course we'll service it. But if it's something that we haven't made, we're not an alteration shop. We're a bespoke atelier. I apologize. The suit is $1,000 US. And the great part about this is that all this stuff that's coming, that's emanating from me, I get to, post it to my Insta. And then I'll download it and put it on my YouTube, and hopefully it will live forever, right? I don't know, Tommy Sub. I mean, it's a great question. I very rarely get asked great questions, but I if you know me, I don't ask questions and stuff. Is it Sarana?
Yes.
So you need to call the man. She's doing a fitting now.
Afternoon,
No, today, 10:45.
Okay. I'll be a fitting.
I forgot what I was saying. I don't really care. I don't really ask questions. Come, sit. You sure you don't want another coffee?
Yeah, I'm sure. Thank you, but thank you for
Don't
offering.
come in, Josephine.
Okay, resume. So yeah, great answer. I think I completely agree, and I would want to see more of that. I think I'm also wondering as well, what are your thoughts? So obviously you're here, you wear suits every day. What do you wear? Do you have a set style outside?
You
of
must
work?
have seen it.
I mean, I've seen. It's very tight. It's very tight. I mean,
Tight?
it's like what you wear on
I like
suits as well.
tight.
You like tight.
I like tight.
So what are your thoughts on the way that fashion now is trending towards? At least Gen Z fashion is trending
Okay.
towards very baggy
So
stuff.
I think two things.
Yeah.
Okay. There is the generic answer, which is the truth.
Uh-huh.
Okay, is that you can wear what you want.
Yeah.
Okay. However, I have some disclaimers.
Mhm.
Okay. And that fashion will always evolve, and we must be accepting of other people's ideas. Fashion is a form of art. Without a doubt, nobody can dispute that. Okay. It's much more. Now, people will have a go at me at this, but fashion is much more than art. Okay. Than paintings, sculpture, installations, cinema, television, and short form video. And why? Can you answer me why? Because we all have to wear clothes no matter what. Okay?
Yeah.
And human nature is about occasions. Alright? And even if you don't have any occasions, that is bullshit. You still have your birthday. You can be a hermit, and there's still your birthday. And no matter what country you live in, okay, it doesn't have to be a Christian country, you will have some sort of day that's an occasion. Okay, their Republic Day, their National Day, their Independence Day, their whatever fucking day. Okay, you don't have to go watch a film. You don't have to watch something on your phone. You don't have to purchase a piece of art. I've never purchased a piece of art. I've been to museums. I've enjoyed art. You don't have to purchase a sculpture. I've never purchased a sculpture. And stuff. But you have to wear clothes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fashion is a form of art that predates every other art. You love my answer, don't you?
Yeah.
Right? That predates every other art. Because before people were painting, they were building their own clothes. Before they were designing clothes, they were building clothes instinctively. So fashion is the first art. It is the most imperative, important art. Because culturally, globally, it is not acceptable to walk around naked. Okay? It just isn't anymore. That doesn't exist. How many? We're not even talking about centuries. We're talking about millennia. Are we not? Right? We've been wearing clothes for millennia, have we not? So it is the first art, and it is the most important art. And art has to be expressive, and art has to evolve. So what do I think? I think that it is great. Okay? Because it teaches me stuff. And when something teaches me stuff, it allows me to learn about people. And if you can learn about people, you will be successful. That is the truth. Because even if you're sitting if you're working for the fucking CIA and you're just working on fucking AI, you still have to know about people. You can't design AI if you don't understand humans. And that's pretty much it. You can't fly drones and bomb someone if you can't understand where they're going to be, when they're going to be there, why they're going to be there, etc., etc. Okay? So fashion teaches you about humans. And the more you learn about humanity, the more successful you can be in any career. Okay? And regardless of career, you can be a plumber, and you can say to yourself that fashion doesn't matter to me, and people don't matter to me. I just got to go fix a toilet. It matters. You have to understand your client. And even if you don't know your client, you can straight away see who they are from how they're dressed, how their house is, how their decoration are, how their art is in the house, what cars are in the garage, everything. Okay? So it's nonsense. Okay? Anything that anyone will tell you that you don't need this is nonsense. Okay? Number 2. Okay. First, I want to tell you how I feel personally. I am a huge advocate, okay, of the selfie and the six-pack. I'll tell you why, okay? That doesn't mean I'm an advocate of 16 photos. No. I think that the original selfies were of six-packs, okay? And that was like a wow. Suddenly everybody could see the guys with six-packs in their phones. The guys could see it and the girls could see it. And that made people healthier. No matter what, it made people healthier. I don't care what you say. Yes, you're going to have... Some people say, yeah, but some people took steroids and they wouldn't. How many people took steroids? 1%, 0.1%? Shut the fuck up. The main thing is, right, is that in the era of slim fit and the era of six-packs and stuff, people everywhere had to become healthier. Because, number one, you can't work out a bad diet. And number two, if you only diet, you can't look ripped. You have to have exercise, the right exercise, and the right diet to look great.
And if you were fat, like, it would show on your tight clothes.
So, yeah. So this helped humanity. I think that it made people... Now, everyone on the planet knows how to be healthy. The answer's in your phone.
Yeah.
Calorie deficit, eating the right types of things, and doing the right type of exercise.
Yeah.
This leads to health, longevity, etc., etc. Whether people follow it or not is not my fucking problem. But the answers are there. You don't need a coach. You don't need a nutritionist. You don't need a fucking therapist. You don't need anything. The answer's all on your phone. Okay? I think that it's a cop-out by Gen Z. All right? I really do. Because Gen X and before spent so much time, including myself, looking ripped. And I think Gen Z have just gotten fed up. They don't want to put in the hard work. And this is my opinion. And I want you to quote me on this.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I think they're just fed up. They don't want to diet. They don't want to work out and stuff. They don't want that pressure. Fuck, look, I got a lot of fucking pressure, bro. How many people work for me? How many mortgages I have to fucking pay? How many salaries I have to pay? Car payments I have to fucking pay? School fees I have to fucking pay? How much I have to pay? I still take care of myself. Still starve myself and work out like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because only an asshole will not respect someone with that sort of discipline. And I think the baggy clothes are a cop-out. Okay, so that's my personal opinion. And I'm entitled to that. Okay?
Yeah.
And I don't mind what vitriol comes my way. Okay? I'm not going to battle anybody's vitriol. Doesn't bother me. That's my opinion. Okay? But the third thing is that I genuinely believe, and this is the kicker for me, is that humans want to expose themselves. The history of humanity is exposure. People want to wear bikinis. You know what I mean? They're not swimming in their fucking clothes, man. People want to wear tight clothes, off-shoulder dresses, show off their fucking ass, everything. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You know.
Nobody's going to a ball in some fucking giant suit and some piece of shit dress and stuff. So it's great. It is great that this has progressed that way. Because it helps me to stand out more. And that's it. You want to look like this fucking idiot? Or you want to look like me? And if you look at one of the last reels that I posted, if you see the star, the producer, the owner, and the celebrity guest, the star, the producer, and the owner are dressed in Sams, looking ripped. And the celebrity guest, who's probably the most ripped, because he's an ex-soccer player, professional, is wearing some shitty baggy suit, which looks like shit. You look at the Sam suits, compared to the Gen Z suit, And you're like, Sam's is quality. Roshan's stuff is pristine, like art. And you know this, I don't need to tell you. The stuff that I work on personally with my clients is artwork. Okay?
Yeah. No,
And that's pretty much it. So all of this helps. Anything that happens helps. The only thing that didn't happen is the fucking pandemic. The pandemic doesn't fucking help, bro. You know what I mean? Stop me from doing business. Everything